go before us. Nothing can stand against the power of our God. And you shine in the shadows. You win every battle. Nothing can stand against the power of our God. Almighty fortress, you go before us. Nothing can stand against the power of our God. You shine in the shadows. You win every battle. Nothing can stand against the power of our God. Almighty fortress, you go before us. Nothing can stand against the power of our God. You shine in the shadows. You win every battle. Nothing can stand against the power of our God. So when I fight, I'll fight on my knees and with my hands lifted high. Oh God, the battle belongs to you, and every fear I lay at your feet. Well, I sing through the night. Oh God, the battle belongs to you, and oh God, the battle belongs to you. Even when I don't see it, you're working. Even when I don't feel it, you're working. You never stop, you never stop working. You never stop, you never stop working. Even when I don't feel it, you're working. Even when I don't feel it, you're working. You never stop, you never stop working. You never stop, you never stop working. Waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. Waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. And that is who you are. That is who you are. That is who you are. And that is who you are. And that is who you are. That is who you are. That is who you are. That is who you
Take my mess and do your best to bring me blessings in your rest. Come inside the tortured mind. Restore your sight where I've been blind. Find a way to make it beautiful. Find a way to make it beautiful. You are beautiful. You are light. I am beautiful. You are right. You are beautiful. You are light. I am beautiful.
Hey, welcome to One Church. We're so glad that you're joining us today. If this is your first time, welcome. Would you take a second, head to our website, fill the Connect card out. This helps us know a little bit more about who you are and how we can be praying for you. We want to reach the most people in the shortest time, and our YouTube channel helps us to do that. If you haven't done so already, hit that like button, make sure that you subscribe, turn that notifications bell on to stay caught up with everything we have going on here at One Church. Jesus is Lord, and if He's Lord of your life, He's Lord over everything, including your finances. Would you pray this prayer with me now? God, show me what to give and give me the courage to give it. Now, if you prayed that prayer, you can head to church.one/give and set up recurring giving today. Thank you so much for your generosity. Here at One Church, we pray for one person to share God's love with every day. You can head to shilohbattles.com to stream new music and share it with those you love. You can also go to postednotes.one, subscribe for a weekly encouragement, and invite others to do the same. We're in our message series called Elevation Required. And our memory verse is found in Psalms chapter 121, verses 1 and 2, and it says, I lift up my eyes to the mountains. Where does my help come from? My help comes from the Lord, the maker of heaven and earth. Let's open our hearts to all that God has in store for us today.
Well, as we are on a journey with our God, our Creator, walking with Him, a lot of times it can be a little bit harder than we anticipated. And God's really good because in the difficulties of the journey, God's good to provide us with companions for the journey. And companions for the journey are very important because when we're on this journey and it feels like we're alone, even though we know God's with us, even though we understand that He is for us, not against us, and He so loved us that He would send His Son Jesus to make a way for us, sometimes in this life, it can feel really lonely. And in those lonely moments, we can cry out to God, and He is our helper, and He is our provider. And God will provide companions. God will provide family for the journey. God will provide grace for the journey, and God will provide humility for the journey. And that is such a gift from Him. We're in this message series right now where we're digging into what's called the Psalms of Ascent from the Old Testament book of Psalms. These Psalms are spiritual songs, and the 15 Psalms of Ascent are songs that were sung in community as the Jewish people would go on their way to a pilgrimage to Jerusalem, up to the temple to worship. And as they made the climb, they would sing these songs together, and they're meant to be very encouraging, to lift up our hearts, to lift up our heads and our eyes, and to lift up our hands in worship to God. And as we do that together, God eradicates that loneliness that we experience so much in this world. And one way that I think is very appropriate and very powerful to experience that every day is by praying for one. When we pray for one, it goes like this: God, please give me one person to share your love with. Would you pray that with me right now? God, please give me one person to share your love with. Now, when we pray for one, I want you to know that you can actually make some other applications from this. And I've lived this out now for a long time, and it's been so powerful. Like one time I was like, God, I really need a friend. And I was like kind of mad at God. I was like, I don't have any friends. I'm lonely and I need a friend. And He was like, well, why don't you ask me? And I remember just starting to pray, Lord, please give me a friend. I just want one friend. And I was praying for one. I was praying for a friend. And you know what? God provided a friend. I believe that God moves in mighty ways. You start praying and asking God to do things that He wants to do in your life, and your head is up and your eyes are open, and you're praying expectantly, knowing that God is for you, not against you, and that God has good things in store for you. You start to have your eyes open to what He's bringing in front of you. If you're lonely, pray for a friend. God will provide a friend. Pray for one. That means a new friend. Pray for one. That means someone to worship with. It's fine to worship alone, but it's so much better to worship in community. Someone else to follow Jesus with, to pray with, and to seek God with. Someone else to share the journey with. Our memory verse for this series is found in Psalm 121, verses 1 through 2. Would you read these out loud with me? I lift up my eyes to the mountains. Where does my help come from? My help comes from the Lord, the maker of heaven and earth. When we lift up our eyes to the mountains, when we look to God and we get our head up and our hearts up and we look to what God is doing, we understand where our help comes from. It comes from the Lord, the maker of heaven and earth. And God's provision is so good. And as we think about God's provision, for this journey with him, this walk with him, there are some blessings that we have. Now that word blessing means happiness, to be happy. And happiness is such a gift from God. We are struggling and looking for happiness in this world, but so often it feels like we're looking for happiness in all the wrong places. And it is so disappointing and soul-crushing when we find that those pursuits leave us unfulfilled and unsatisfied. But there is a lasting soul satisfaction and genuine, deep-seated, everlasting, eternal happiness that can be found through living in the blessings of God. And one of those blessings is the blessing of family. We can walk with the blessing of family. Now, this may sound a little bit counterintuitive to you because blessing is one of those tricky things that we see, and particularly blessing is tricky when combined with family. Because it's pretty easy to sometimes see family as a curse. Like even in the way we think about like providing for our families. I've heard people talk about this. Well, I gotta go to work. Why do you gotta go to work? Because I gotta provide for my family. I'm like, man, that does not feel like good news. You know, what we're experiencing, what we're living out, what we're putting all this energy into, it feels like sometimes it's a curse instead of a blessing. And it's pretty wild that the people that we are in closest community with are oftentimes the people we struggle with the most. The people that we experience the most pain and hurt with are the people who hurt us and probably the people that we hurt the most as well. And blessing, though, can come from family, but it starts with a rethink of this, a reimagining, a new vision of how we think about family. Instead of thinking of family as a curse, we can think about family as a blessing. Now, you may be going, well, how can that be when my whole family is full of a bunch of jerks? How can that be? Well, it could start with you not being a jerk. How about that? Like, that's pretty powerful right there. Like, your whole family can't be full of jerks if you're not a jerk. And God can transform and change you to where you are the blessing in your family, and you introduce this blessing into family, and you reverse the curse. And the way that you look at family. Now, can be true for your family of origin. It can be true for a family that you marry into, but it is certainly true for the broader family, the family of God. And that's the beauty of this. God has family for all of us. This is God's answer to loneliness. God's answer to loneliness is family, and family is meant to bring blessing. That's why Jesus came and made a way for every single human being, no matter who you are, no matter what you've done, no matter what's been done to you, to have access to their eternal Father. To know that he is their Father, to be adopted sons and daughters of the King of Kings, to know that there is a room in the Father's house with your name on it, a seat at the Father's table with your name on it, that is where we belong, and we have the blessing of family, of a shared Father, but also brothers and sisters. And instead of looking at people, okay, our initial family, but then also our extended family, all human beings, instead of looking at them as curses to be avoided, we can look at them as blessings from God. Now that changes everything. You're praying for one, God, please give me one person to share your love with, but I hate people. All right, that's not gonna work out too well. You're wondering, like, I've been praying for one, God's not giving me anyone. Well, if we're rejecting his blessings and referring to his blessings as curses, then it's gonna be really hard to see. We get to ascend with him. Elevation is required to think like God, to talk like God, to love like God, to love with his love, like he loves. Psalm 128 talks about the blessing of family. Blessed are all who fear the Lord, who walk in obedience to him. You who will eat the fruit of your labor, blessings and prosperity will be yours. Your wife will be like a fruitful vine within your house. Your children will be like olive shoots around your table. Yes, this will be the blessing for the man who fears the Lord. May the Lord bless you from Zion. May you see the prosperity of Jerusalem all the days of your life. May you live to see your children's children. Peace be on Israel. God gives us the blessing of family. And whether we have this particular expression of family, children and grandchildren and all the things associated with that or not, there is the blessing of God's family. But it starts with the fear of the Lord. Understanding that there is a God who is greater than us, who is almighty, all-powerful, who has all authority. He is the one who is greater than me and is greater than you. And when we submit to him and acknowledge that God is indeed greater than us, to lift up our eyes to the mountains and to see the Lord who is our helper, and to not just throw around this word Lord kind of flippantly, but to actually mean it. I mean, Jesus actually said, not everybody who says to me, Lord, Lord, will enter the kingdom of heaven. It's not just about the words that we say, although words matter, but it's not just about that. It's about the real, genuine attitude of the heart. Is he your Lord or is he not? And this is a crucial thing to wrestle with. How do you know if he's the Lord? Well, are you walking in obedience to him? That's such an incredible thing to think about. To walk in obedience to the Lord, to say, all right, God, your path that you have for me, that's probably not the direction I would go left to my own devices. But instead, I'm going to trust you that you are a good father and that I am truly your child, and I'm going to walk in obedience to you. You see, sometimes we get so busy being all grown up. Sometimes we get so busy being all in charge. Sometimes we get so busy exercising our own authority, like trying to get our own power, trying to build our own kingdoms, trying to be our own person, trying to be an individual and make a name for ourselves, that we forget about the name that is above all names. And that the one who has the name above all names, the name of Jesus, where every knee will bow and every tongue will confess, this guy, he declares that we are his. And instead of trying to make a name for ourselves, we can simply take his family name and live under the authority of the lordship of Jesus and walk in obedience with him. Then when God in this psalm is talking about family and the blessing of family, it does get a little weird for me, because I don't know about you, but this verses 2 and 3 were kind of interesting. You will eat the fruit of your labor, blessings and prosperity will be yours. Okay, I'm tracking with that. Your wife will be like a fruitful vine within your house. I can't keep plants alive in my house. I have a problem with that. I don't know, what kind of, I'm married, what kind of fruitful vine would my wife be? I looked it up. There are 21 different kinds of fruitful vines. Some examples would be grapes, watermelon, kiwi fruit, honeydew, passion fruit. I was looking at all these, I was like, none of these really sound that great. I mean, kiwi fruit? That's fuzzy. Fuzzy fruit freaks me out. I don't want my wife to be a kiwi fruit vine. If I asked her, she'd be like, I'm gonna be the honeydew vine. I'm like, I bet you are. Honeydew this, honeydew that. We don't need any more of that in my house. I'm like, if I'm picking passion fruit. Let's go. No. But the reality here is that there is a blessing that comes in family and comes from these relationships that we get to have with one another. And we all know that the relationship between a husband and wife, a mom and a dad, that can be one of the most strained relationships in the world. It's also the relationship that's probably the most painful when it's ripped apart. And we live in a world that is being ripped apart all the time, and that grieves in the heart of God because he understands what we are experiencing. And God's got something better for us. Family can be a blessing instead of a curse. We can be a part of God's family and enjoy the fruit of that, enjoy his love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control, to be recipients of that, but then also bring that into every relational dynamic that we have with our personal families, but then also with the world at large. And to have fruitful blessings of families where we're enjoying them and we enjoy the people that we get to be around because we can walk in the blessing of family. Now, when we think about walking with the blessing of family, there is something that is really required to do this, and it's this word called grace. Would you say grace out loud? Grace. Grace is so crucial. We can walk with the blessing of grace. God's grace, his unmerited favor, the free gift of God, that while we were still sinners, Christ Jesus would come and die for us. Not that we earned his grace or his favor, not that we earn his salvation, but that Jesus came and he said, I'm gonna do it for you. This is the good news that we cling to, the good news of grace. And his grace is for us and is available for everyone. The next Psalm, Psalm 130, It says, out of the depths I cry to you, Lord. Lord, hear my voice. Let your ears be attentive to my cry for mercy. If you, Lord, kept a record of sins, Lord, who could stand? But with you there is forgiveness, so that we can, with reverence, serve you. I wait for the Lord. My whole being waits, and in his word I put my hope. I wait for the Lord more than the watchmen wait for the morning, more than the watchmen wait for the morning. Israel, put your hope in the Lord, for the Lord is unfailing love, and with him is full redemption. He himself will redeem Israel from all their sins. God's grace is sufficient to handle our sin and imperfection. No matter who you are, no matter what you've done, no matter what's been done to you, the things that we've experienced that have caused so much heartache and pain in this world, and also the things that other people have done that have damaged and hurt us, we don't know how to handle these things. That's why the family dynamic is so difficult. That's why we look at blessing, at family as a curse instead of a blessing. But with his grace, this changes everything. When we see ourselves as objects of God's grace and we receive God's grace, then we can start to apply God's grace not only to ourselves, but to other people. And this is a powerful thing, to give grace like God gives grace. You see, grace is the blessing. Grace is the happiness. Grace is the thing that gives us our lasting soul satisfaction. Grace is the connection point to God, because grace heals. Sin hurts. Sin destroys. Sin rips apart. Sin breaks down relationships and destroys family. And sin grieves God and it grieves us and it exacerbates the loneliness of this world. But grace heals. It heals a broken hearted. It binds it together, and his grace restores. Not only does it heal, but it restores. It returns us into a right relationship with God where sin has broken that, where imperfection has come in and separated us from the perfection of God. His grace comes in and removes that sin and restores us to a right relationship with our God so that we can then be in a right relationship with others. Grace hopes. Wait for the Lord. I do love that, and this is a hope that doesn't disappoint. When our hope is in the grace of God, not in our ability to achieve and win and dominate and conquer and be good enough and great enough and better than everybody else. When it's in the grace of the Lord, man, this grace waits for the Lord. It's patient. I'll wait for the Lord because the Lord has proven himself. He's proven himself. He's demonstrated his love for us in this, that while we were sinners, Christ Jesus would die for us. You want evidence? He's proved it through his son Jesus on the cross. This is who he is. And so we can wait on him. And then grace rejoices. It rejoices in the Lord. It rejoices in others responding to grace. It rejoices in grace from God coming into this world and utterly transforming the world that we live in. We get to be people of grace because we follow a God of grace. Now, this is so crucial and so important. Please, I beg of you, I implore you on Christ's behalf, do not abandon grace. And you may be looking at me going like, what are you talking about? Why would I ever abandon grace? I don't know, but we keep doing it. And we keep doing it in Christian circles. We keep doing it in church communities. We keep doing it by turning to religion and turning to rules and regulation and abandoning grace and going to some form of legalism and judging people and saying who's in and who's out and who can be a part and who can't and who's right and who's wrong and fighting and devouring each other. Who would abandon grace? We would, and I don't know why, but I just beg you, don't. Don't give up on grace. And if you haven't yet, maybe you can just skip that whole thing. I hold out hope for this. 430 people have been baptized in the last 12 months at one church. If you're one of them, don't give up on grace. You're going to see some videos on YouTube that tell you should give up on grace. Be judgmental. Be mean-spirited. Be full of yourself. Think you're better than everybody else. There's sermon after sermon, book after book, video after video that's out there, and it's just flooding the Christian market, all the Christian consumers, just bombarding. Don't fall for that nonsense. We begin with grace. We continue with grace. You know what we finish with? Any guesses? Grace. Don't abandon grace. Cling to his grace. His grace is sufficient for you. It's sufficient for your family. It's sufficient for your world. And then we can also walk with the blessing of humility. If we don't give up on grace, there's a high probability that we can avoid pride as well. And instead of pride, we can walk with the blessing of humility. So often, though, we exalt ourselves over God. In fact, every time we choose to sin, it's a way of saying, God, I'm greater than you. Now, that may sound like crazy talk, like you would, like, I would never tell God I'm greater than him. Do you ever sin? Do you ever refuse to do something that he's told you to do? Do you ever make a decision not to trust him or believe him? This is not an accusation. This is just a realization. Every time I do that, every time you do that, every time we do that, we're saying, God, I'm greater than you. And the only way that works is if we take God and we bring him down and we put him underneath us. And then we take his position as God. You want to know why our relationships don't work? You want to know why there's so much nastiness in this world? It's this one thing right here. It's called sin. Sin is the reason for that. And his grace is sufficient. And yes, his grace covers it. And if you're in his grace and under his grace grace will continue. But we have the opportunity to live and walk with the blessing of humility. Psalm 131 says, my heart is not proud, Lord. My eyes are not haughty. I do not concern myself with great matters or things too wonderful for me. But I have calmed and quieted myself. I'm like a weaned child with its mother. Like a weaned child, I'm content. Israel, put your hope in the Lord, both now and forevermore. People of God, put your hope in the Lord, both now and forevermore. Put your hope in the Lord, both now and forevermore. Don't put your hope in yourself, because that is a hope that will disappoint. Don't put your hope in some other identity, like a job or a relationship, because that hope is going to disappoint. It will fail you. Don't put your hope in money if you haven't figured that one out. That will not give you an identity. That will not protect you. That will not keep you safe. That will not do anything for you. But put your hope in the Lord. Don't put your hope in the government or a country. Put your hope in the Lord. And in humility, walk with him in obedience to him. This is what being a follower of Jesus is all about. Family, grace, and humility. Family, grace, humility. The continual dying to self, agreeing with God, submitting to him, seeking to be a blessing to others, looking at the world through God's eyes, knowing that he is inviting you into his family so that you can be a blessing. This is his invitation, and it is a wonderful invitation that he's making to you, and you can respond right now. When we take bread and juice and celebrate communion together, we are acknowledging what God has done for us and agreeing that he is our provision. If you are saying yes to Jesus and his grace and his provision for you, his salvation, would you say yes, Jesus, out loud? Yes, Jesus. And in communion, we remember that Jesus took a cup and he made a proposal. He said, this is my cup, which is given for you. His blood, which has been poured out for you. He has done it. His grace is sufficient. And when we drink this cup, We're saying yes to the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords. Would you say yes, Lord? Yes, Lord. I want to encourage you to spend a moment and enjoy God's blessing. The blessing of family, the blessing of grace, the blessing of humility. Would you open up your hands as a way of receiving from God? And let's take a deep breath together, in the nose, out the mouth. Say, God, I receive your family. God, I receive your family. God, I receive your grace. God, I receive your humility. I'll just ask him to show you his family, his grace, and his humility right now.